what's happening? Tim with Nomad Trading here. Guys, let's talk about Cmeg. Let's talk about setting an account up with Cmeg, Capital Markets Elite Group. Cmeg, aka the offshore broker where you don't have to deal with PDT. It's the only reason you would have an account there. If you have over $25,000, don't get an account at Cmeg. Just go with one of the U.S. brokers where you don't have to pay commissions, because it doesn't make any sense to go with Cmeg and pay a ton of money in commissions if you don't have to. The only point in doing that is to get around the PDT. PDT is pattern day trader rule, which basically states that in the United States you can only trade 3 times in a 5-day rolling period. This is a gigantic problem and headache for any new trader starting out. Most of us, when we started out, or if you're starting out now, have less than $25,000 and are going to be under the PDT. That creates a giant mental roadblock. As you've seen with me trading in that small E-Trade account, and I've experienced, it is so hard to make money that way. I mean, it really is. You have this constant thing in the back of your mind. You buy a stock and you think, I need to get out. I think it's turning against me, but if I get out, then I can't trade the rest of the week, or I only have one more trade. It's just that constantly thing in the back of your mind that is, it's a mental roadblock to what you should actually be doing with your trades. That's the problem. You have a plan and you're trying to trade that plan. You don't want to be influenced by some other factor, such as wondering how many more trades you have for the day or for the week. So that's a problem, and to get around that, you have 2 options. Number 1 is to go get other accounts at different brokerages, spread your money around different brokerages. That doesn't work for most people because most of my viewers that are watching this don't have, thousands and thousands of dollars to put at different brokers. In my opinion, you need at least a couple $1,000s to be able to trade with, at least $1,000. And for anybody that's got 500 or whatever, I feel for you, and it is possible to do it, but it's very difficult. You can't trade with any kind of meaningful size when you only have a $500 account. So at least with $1,000, you can find a stock for $1 and get 1,000 shares, or $2 stock, you can get 500 shares. You need some ability to get a meaningful amount of shares, really. So that, for my strategy anyway, because you're trying to scalp little tiny moves, little pieces. So when you're only taking a few cents a share, you need to have decent sized shares. Anyway, so the point is, you have 2 options. 1, spread your money around, which is not feasible because you probably don't have a ton of money to get a whole bunch of different brokerage accounts lined up. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for an offshore broker. The one that we used to use is SureTrader. That was the go-to offshore broker. Now it's Cmeg. That's where everybody's going. Cmeg, Capital Markets Elite Group. So what you're going to do is set an account up at Cmeg, trade there to get around the PDT rule, because they don't have the PDT rule, being as they are offshore, and pay a buttload of commissions. That's just how it works. Unfortunately, there's no way around that. If you got enough money to trade with the U.S. brokers, do that. If you don't, you're going to have to go with an offshore broker such as Cmeg, and the downside is you pay a lot in commissions. I've only traded with it one day because it took me months to get this account open, and we're going to get into that. And on that first day, I think I spent like $70-some in commissions I incurred, and hopefully I can help you guys navigate around those problems and you can get yours set up much quicker. So let's jump into my computer. Okay, first thing you're going to do, you're going to Google Cmeg, Capital Markets Elite Group, and you're going to come across this page right here. This should be what you see. If you don't see this, you might be at the wrong capital group, or the wrong page. So look for this. As of now anyway, in May of 2020, this is what it looks like. Capital Markets Elite Group. Then you're going to click on Open an Account. Boom. This is going to come up. Okay, account registration. So you're going to put your information in here. You're going to click I'm not a robot. This is another thing that really enrages me. ReCAPTCHA. I don't know about you guys, but this absolutely pisses me off all the time. Sometimes I get right through it. Other times I'll spend 20 minutes clicking on this damn reCAPTCHA thing, all the pictures that pop up like, what the hell is this? It'll say click on the bike or click on the fire hydrant, and you'll have like the main image, but then there'll be other boxes with little pieces of that stoplight in it or whatever. Do I click on that? Do I click on the freaking pole that's holding the stoplight up? Is that included in the reCAPTCHA picture? Is the bike's handlebar that's just barely hanging into another square, does that count? Let's see if I can get this thing it's not going to pop up. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I was talking. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. The thing is enraging. I appreciate the fact that they're trying to keep bots out, and that's great. But it's so enraging clicking on these pictures, and they just never go away. Picture after picture after picture, never, approves me. Don't know what you're really supposed to click on that blurry ass picture. Are you supposed to click the pole of the stoplight or just the stoplight itself? Or, just drives me crazy. But that's enough of a tangent about idiotic reCAPTCHA bullshit. So you're going to put all your information in, going to click register now. Then you're going to go to another page. You're going to put in all of your important information, like your address, your phone number, your social security number, how much you make, your employer information, just like all the little details that you get a little bit uncomfortable about putting in online. You're going to put all those in. Then when you get that bullshit done, you're going to come to a page where it says to upload documents. I don't have the thing. I'm not going to fill out all this stuff to start another account just so I can show you, but I do have a screenshot of part of it. It's going to look like this. This is what pops up when you click upload documents. So basically you have to upload documents to prove you are who you say you are. I don't remember doing that with E-Trade. I don't remember the process being nearly as drawn out and arduous as it is with Cmeg. And I don't know if that's because the times are a-changing or if it's just because they're offshore broker. I don't know. But all I know is I don't remember doing this with E-Trade or other brokers. But upload documents, you have to do this. So photo identification 1 and 2. They want 2 forms of photo identification. Okay, that's great. Well, I only have one. So here's where my troubles began. I only have one ID, which is my driver's license. I don't have a passport. I'm just some country bumpkin from the Midwest, never been out of the United States, so I don't have a passport. I need to get one, but I don't have one. So now I'm like, oh, great. Do I have to get a passport? I have to wait a month and put in all this information, go through the process of getting a passport just so I can get this silly Cmeg account approved. So I email them and tell them I only have one form of photo ID. This is important, guys. Tip number 1, right here. If you don't have 2 IDs, you can use your driver's license, and then as a second form of ID, you can upload a picture of your social security card and one of your most recent tax return. Those 2 things they will use as a substitute. So I had to email them and wait a day for them to respond, and then, finally figure out that they will accept that. So there you go. If you don't have 2 forms of photo ID, use your tax return and your social security card. Then you're going to do proof of address, which is basically a utility bill, and you're going to do proof of income, which is your most recent pay stub. Upload all those documents. When you go to upload a document, this is what's going to pop up. You're going to choose file to upload it. You're going to do all that. Click upload document, and then it'll show that it's uploaded the document here. Okay, great. So the problem I first had was I didn't have 2 forms of ID. Got that figured out. It took about a day, emailing back and forth, get that figured out. So then I go to click finish down here when I've uploaded all my documents. I get a message that says that I have not uploaded all my documents. And I'm like, what? I totally did upload all my documents. What are you talking about? So I sent them another email, and in the process of waiting for them to return another email back to me, a reply, I went ahead and closed out, went back, started another browser, and uploaded them all again. Got the same message saying I hadn't uploaded all my documents. So I get a little bit frustrated. I go to my laptop and I try it on my laptop. First of all, to get that done, I have to email all the pictures to myself to get them onto my laptop. Then I got them on my laptop. Then I try it on my laptop. I get the same message saying I haven't uploaded all my documents. So then I go to Internet Explorer down here thinking maybe it's a browser issue. I upload them all on there. Same message. So no matter what I do, what computer I'm on, it will not take my documents. It won't let me pass that little screen of uploading the documents. So then I email them again. I'm waiting for them to respond, and that begins the process of over a month of going back and forth with them on the telephone, them telling me that they're going to call me, then they don't call me. So then the next day I email them or call them, and them telling me they got to wait for tech support to call me because it's a tech support issue with their website. So then I wait, and they don't call me like they say. And then the next day comes, and I email them, and they don't even respond to that email until the next day. And then I finally get a hold of them again. They tell me tech support's going to call me again. Tech support finally does call me, but they don't really know what I'm talking about. So I explain it to them. I have to take screenshots. I email the screenshots to them. Then that day comes and goes, and the next day I haven't heard from them. So I call them or message them again. This is just the process that I went through where literally for like a month, maybe longer, I was emailing them back and forth every day, every other day, on the phone with them, waiting for them to call me back, them not calling me back, and then I'm in the limbo where I'm like, do I need to call them since they're not calling me back? And everybody knows when you call a big company, you get a different person every time, so then you have to explain it all to them what's going on. They don't understand. They transfer you. Then they ultimately tell me that tech support's got to deal with it. Then tech support doesn't call me back again. So that was what went on for like a month. I mean, I have tons of emails back and forth that I could show you. Anyway, finally, I'm just like emailing them. I'm frustrated, and some of my emails were not that nice. Where I was just like, "Hey, you said you were going to call me back, and you didn't call me back." And hey, you said tech support was going to call me, and they didn't call me. Hey, you told me you were going to email me by the end of the day. The end of the day came and went. You didn't email me. It just got really frustrating back and forth. And I'm talking about like literally 30 or 40 emails, maybe more, and probably 10 phone calls, maybe more than that, just to try to get past this one thing. Ultimately, I told them, hey, can I just email you all the documents and get me approved that way? Because this seems crazy that the website is holding me up from getting my account, and all I want to do is spend money with you. I want to be your customer. Can you work with me a little bit? Can you go out of your little bubble of doing what corporate tells you to do for just a minute and take the photos and the things through email and just approve my account? All I want to do is spend a bunch of money with you on commissions. It shouldn't be that difficult. So anyway, ultimately they did tell me that they would accept them through the email. Can I do that? So I email them to me. Then I get emails back from them. The images are too large, so I send them again. I get emails back from them about they're in the wrong format. So I got to change the format. Well, I don't have a way to do that on this computer, so then I end up having to go to my little brother's house and use his computer to reformat all the pictures and resize them all and get them all the way that they want them and then send them back. This leads me to tip number 2. When you go to do this, when you're going to upload your documents, and this could be the problem. I never found out. They never did at any point figure out what the problem was with why I couldn't get my documents uploaded and move on any computer or anything. But I speculate that it was because of the format and the size. So I would recommend go to Google and type in best dimensions for an image to send via email, or best size for email, something like that. And it's going to tell you right here, 600 pixel to 650 pixels is the best size for email. So when you're doing this process, signing up for Cmeg, just right away, go ahead and just assume you're going to have the same problems I did. Make sure your pictures are around that size, that they're smaller pictures, and that the resolution is not crazy high. Then make sure you, when you scan them into your scanner and upload them, do them in PNG. That seemed to be what worked the best for me, what they recommended, and what worked the best for me. So when you scan them in and make them formatted on PNG and make them about that size. And then I have a hunch. I never obviously got to the point where I found out for sure, but I have a hunch that that could have been what the issues were, and they just didn't know that and couldn't tell me that. So hedge your bets and do it in PNG and in that size when you upload all your documents, and then cross your fingers that maybe that's what the issue is and that that will work. Because I know there are some people who did this process and got right through and didn't have to go through all the issues I had. But I also know there's quite a few horror stories out there like mine. So you don't want to get in a position where you're going back and forth with their customer service who is clearly overwhelmed or understaffed or whatever and takes days to reply. Sometimes they reply the same day. It does happen once in a while, but other times it takes a few days and you never hear from them, and you're the one that has to contact them again. So anyway, PNG and the proper size that you would send a picture via an email. Try that, and hopefully that will work. Then eventually we do that via email. They get it all my information, and they finally approve me. And it's like the happiest day ever that I'm preliminary approved. That's what it said. That's what the email said. You're preliminarily approved. Now we just need you to do a few more things to finalize it. So I go to the portal where at that point, when you get approved in the beginning, you can actually at that point log into your Cmeg portal with the credentials that they give you. When you log in, then there'll be like a little place where you can upload more documents and they can communicate to you in this message center. So I go to that portal, and in there I have messages from them saying that they need a more recent pay stub. So first of all, I'm gonna comply with that, but there's a little piece of me that's pretty angry because at this point we're talking about May when this is occurring, the end of April, beginning of May, and I started the process end of January, beginning of February. So we're talking about it's been a couple months. Now they're telling me I got to re-upload more recent documents, and I'm just thinking like, yeah, I mean, of course I do, because you guys have taken so damn long that now my stuff is out of date. They were all up to date and recent when I started this process, but because it's so ridiculously difficult to get an account with you, now my stuff's all out of date. So anyway, I didn't tell them that. I just re-uploaded the more recent pay stub. Then they get another message from them saying that they need a more recent utility bill for my address. So again, annoying, but I do that. Go ahead and re-upload that. Put that stuff in there. Then they tell me that my address is wrong. Now, this is one mistake that I made. I made the mistake. I somehow mistyped my own address. I put a 4 instead of a 2 in the number of my address. So that was my fault. I take full responsibility for that stupidity. And that set me back another couple days because it was on like a Friday when I got that. Well, then I emailed them, yes, the address on my utility bill and pay stub and stuff is the correct address. I just mistyped it when I filled out the application. I'm sorry. But yeah, the address is right. That's why they don't match, but it is right. So then I have to wait until like Monday before they get back to me and say, okay, that's fine. We'll fix that. So anyway, get that figured out. Then I have to fund the account. Now, funding the account, not that big of a deal other than, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt because they're an offshore broker. So I go to my bank. They provide you in the portal, by the way, it's like a little diagram. It looks like, I think I have it here somewhere. I don't know. I can't see it, but Anyway, they give you a thing in the portal. There's a spot where it talks about funding your account, and it gives you all the stuff, the routing numbers and the bank names and all that you have to wire transfer from your bank to their account at their bank. So I would recommend printing that off, by the way, and take that to your bank. They're offshore, so my broker or my bank would not send them a wire directly, as many U.S. banks won't. They have to go through an intermediary, so there's that process. You have to have all that information. But long story short, the funding of the account was not that difficult. I think I was at the bank for like 45 minutes or something. It took a while for them to put it all in and get everything set up and then send it. And then within a couple of days, 3 to 5 days, my account was fully funded there at Cmeg. Hallelujah, happy day. I finally got my money in my account and I'm approved. That's great. After all that, after months, finally get that done. Then they send you a link in your email with the platform link to download. I chose Sterling over DOS. I've heard lots of great things about both, so really it doesn't matter either way. I just, from looking at different people's platforms and stuff, I thought Sterling was the better fit. That's the one I kind of went with. So chose Sterling, got that, downloaded that, and from there on, I'll make other videos about the platform and about setting it up and all that, but I'm still kind of playing with it. I don't know very much about it at all. I jumped in the deep end, so to speak, when I got that all going last week and ended up losing money. So now I'm in the process of kind of toggling it a little differently and setting up hotkeys. I want to use hotkeys. That's one of the biggest things that is good about Cmeg is their hotkeys. So I'm in the process of changing my hotkeys around, getting that all the way I want it. Ultimately, pretty excited about it. Pretty excited to have all new content to show you guys with Cmeg, with setting up that platform and trading with it and all that. But I don't want to do it until I actually know what I'm doing, so I'm not misleading anybody or making a bunch of content that's not very good. So anyway, when I get a little more comfortable with that, I'll make a video about that. But as far as the account process of setting up your account with Cmeg, I give it 1 star out of 5 because, if I could give it 0, I would. But ultimately, I finally did get approved there, and I can finally trade with it. The good things about Cmeg are, 1, there's no PDT. 2, they have hotkeys. And 3, they give you margin. Even if you only had a $500 account, they let you trade with margin. That is a huge thing. Not very common for brokers to give you margin with a $500 account. I know like E-Trade, it's $2,000 to get margin and be able to short or anything. You have to have over $2,000 in your account. So definitely some pros to Cmeg once you get past the insane process of getting approved there. To me, it's just ridiculous to go through all that just so I can spend money there. I mean, just on the very first day of trading, I threw away $70-some in commissions by over trading and not looking for my setups and just being an idiot. But that's $70-some that they made the very first day off of me. They could have months ago approved me a lot easier, and hell, I would have probably pissed away $1,000 in commissions by now. So I guess that's their own fault. But other than that, there are some good things. Like I said, no PDT rule and the margin and the hotkeys. So good things about it. Just the bad things are commissions. You're gonna blow a lot of money in commissions. So if you're a new trader starting out, make sure you trade small and make sure you do not overtrade. It's very tempting to overtrade. It's tempting for me to overtrade, for anybody. It's just when you have the ability after being under PDT and all of a sudden, the cuffs are off and you can just trade freely. It's really hard not to just start trading like crazy. So be very aware of that. And try not to do that. The commissions will eat you alive, especially if you have a small account. So anyway, that's kind of all I got as far as the setting up the CMEG account process and what a pain in the butt it is, but I am excited to finally have it over with. I can't say I don't recommend them now that I've traded with them one day and seeing what they have to offer in the process of actually trading there and their platforms and stuff. So far, I like it. I think I'm going to end up loving it at some point. Their executions seem to be decent and all that. So I think it's going to be a winner. It's just the fact that it's a ridiculous process to go through that's super frustrating just to get an account there so that you can spend money with them. To me, that's just unacceptable, and they need to revamp that process on their website and make it a little easier and a little better for customers to navigate. Hopefully you don't have the same problems as me, though, and hopefully it goes much more smoother, and you guys can comment down below how your process went. So, if you like this video, you got any questions, put them in the comments. Make sure, seriously, guys, and let me know if you've got an account with CMEG, how your process was, if you ran into any of the same issues that I did, and what they were. Tell me your experiences with them. I'm working on maybe getting an affiliate link and a coupon code and whatnot, and then you guys can sign up, and maybe we'll both get a little bit of a discount on commissions or something. I know other YouTubers do that, so I don't know, something I'm looking into. Other than that, I want to appreciate and show my love for all you guys that have commented down below. I've got so many comments on all my videos that have all been positive and talking about some of you guys making money with things that I've talked about, things like that just really feels good. It feels so awesome to know that the time that I put into this, I'm not making any money from it, at least not at this point. So it does take a lot of time. And to get a comment back with somebody talking about how they made such and such money, $1,000 or whatever, was something that I talked about or something really helped them out, that feels so good. I love that. It's almost better than money. It's not better than money. I'm not going to say it is. I'm not some bullshit guru over here. I definitely want to make money. I wouldn't even be trading or doing any of this YouTube stuff. But it's a close second. You know, it's right there. It feels so good to know that you're helping people and that people appreciate what you do. So keep commenting below and telling me what I've done good, things I can improve on, because I'm still new to this YouTube thing. So tell me what I can do to improve on. Tell me what videos you want to see, and I'll try to make them. Guys, thanks for stopping by. If you like what you see, make sure you hit the little thumbs up. Make sure you hit the red subscribe button, notifications on, the little bell thingy that makes you get my notifications that my video has popped up if I make a new one. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the comments. Let me know what I can do to help. Check out my other videos if you get a chance and you haven't seen them. Until next time, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming into the Nomad Treehouse, spending time with me, talking trading, talking about what we can do to make our millions together. I appreciate you stopping by. Let's take the next step together. Let trading set you free. As always, peace.